and we'll do that sound check to make sure all is good. And now I'm going to go into YouTube as usual, brother, and make sure they're getting the content. They're getting it. And it's green. I should say it's green. All right, guys, you know what we're doing. We need to do a sound check before we get too far going because we don't want to miss any of this, guys. If you can hear Tim Black, let me know. And if you can hear my friend H.A. Goodman, let him know.
Can you hear this epic no sellouts? Can you hear me?
Oh, man. I see
Can
people out
you
here.
hear?
All rise for the Honorables Tim Black and H.A. Goodman. Hi, guys. Hey, my boys are
us?
on. Can you guys hear us? Hey, guys.
I see and hear you. I see and hear you.
Yes, that is Osgood.
Fuck yeah, we can.
Osgood 999 and Little Kate.
Already.
Mike Jessen. All right. Oh, yeah, fuck it. William Castro. Give it up for William Castro with a resounding fuck yeah. God. All right, guys. Look, we always look, I'm a person who's used to tradition. I like traditions. So let's start this as we always do. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to another edition of No Sellouts. My name is Tim Black, and as always, I have my partner in crime, H.A. Goodman. What's up, H.A.?
Tim Black!
My man. Oh,
What's
how you
up?
feeling?
Well, Tim, what can I tell you? I feel great, and everything's fantastic. It actually is fantastic. And I just, let's get the ball rolling. Give me your thoughts, first off, on Jordan's apology, half-assed apology to you, and him saying that he confused you with Niko House. Niko House is awesome. I'm a big fan of Niko House. He's amazing. But you guys look nothing alike, and you have different voices, different ways of communication, different messages, too. Your messages are different. You know, all three of us have very different messages. What do you think about, you know, Jordan talking about hucksters and cliques and people taking advantage of anger? And you know, you had the courage that I didn't have last year to actually call out Cenk Uygur and TYT. And then Jordan actually defended TYT last year, but didn't go after you like he did recently. I just wondering why Jordan is always the attack dog or the hitman or whatever, or, you know. But what do you think of Jordan's apology, or Jordan saying that he didn't try to attack you?
Well, you know, H.A., man, you know I don't believe that this was an accident. Not at all. I believe that this was intentional. I believe it was a miscalculation. And that Jordan thought that I would be easy pickings, and that you know, that we didn't have a base of followers that would support us even against the great mighty TYT and the great mighty Jordan Chariton. But I do want to say this, man. This is a great disappointment. All right? I don't take pleasure in what happened here because I met Jordan Chariton originally because I invited him on my show for a benefit drive for Tim Canova. And he came on my show.
Yeah.
So up until this incident, there's been previous incidents, but I asked him, you know, we talked, he denied it then, that he, you know, was trying to take swipes at me. So once again, my previous to all of this, which I did not initiate, neither H.A. or I brought up Jordan's name. We brought up the panel, and we were very specific, and H.A. Goodman was even overly, congratulatory or respectful to Jordan in his analysis of the DNC fraud suit segment that the Big TYT network ran. So anyway, I just want to say, guys, I want to make it clear that before this, I had no problems with Jordan on a personal level or on a journalistic level or any level at all. In fact, our interactions, other than a mix-up, and he says that wasn't true, were him coming on my show to support Tim Canova in a race to defeat Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And that was, so I was blindsided by this whole thing, H.A. Just to put a little bow on that part, I was blindsided by this, and I didn't expect it. But no, I don't believe it was a mistake. I don't believe it was an accident. I believe that he got some heat he wasn't expecting, and he didn't want that heat.
Yeah.
What about you, bro? What do you think about the attacks on you? Like, he took back, so he rescinded his attacks on me. He says that though he used the word hucksters, he wasn't referring to plural. He was just referring to you. Just because he was, when he said clickbaiters, people who use clickbait, he used people, but he meant person. He didn't mean.
Well,
Tim,
I'm like the Matrix. There's like 30 of me. There's 30 H.A. Goodmans. So he meant plural of only me, nobody else. He didn't mean you. You know what I mean? But go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you think about? I know how you felt about him beforehand. What do you think about it now? How are you dealing with this, and what is your summation about Jordan Chariton, the TYT Politics channel, and TYT in general as regards to you and independent media?
Well, I think that my initial stance regarding Jordan Chariton in my first diss video for TYT. I actually stated, yeah, he probably deserved the Pulitzer Prize. I thought that I respected his work. I still respect his work, but I think that he's a piece of crap for going after us, for me, you, and Niko, but making it a point to lie, because Jordan Chariton lied. That's the thing. He lied, and it was all for Cenk Uyghur's brand. So I'm calling him Uma Abedin now. So we got Cenk Uyghur, who's off in the woods because he's so powerful and mighty. He has no idea who you are, Tim, right, because you only interviewed Michael Tracy, Jimmy Dore, and Jordan Chariton, but he has no idea who you are. He doesn't know who I am, and doesn't know Niko. Oh my God! But see, it doesn't. People say, well, how do you know that Jordan took orders from Cenk? It's not about Cenk saying, Jordan, here's the script. Go ahead. It's about the board meetings. It's about the TYT brand. And it's about Jordan being, up until recently, the most credible journalist there. He's the muckraker. He's the guy that they send to Standing Rock, the guy they send to Flint, the guy they send places. Okay, fine. So he does good work. But they also utilize his credibility, which is what it is now, but his credibility they utilized as, okay, we're not neoliberal sellouts. Look, we're sending Jordan everywhere. You see everybody. So even when we side with Clinton, we are still really, down with the cause because we have Jordan. Right. And that's why, see, donations are donations. It's not about John Idarola's his misstatement. That is the TYT stance. I don't care if Jordan interviews, 100 Bernie voters now. I don't care if it's the TYT stance. When they want to go after something, they do 30 loser Donald videos. They it's Trump. Type in Trump Russia TYT on YouTube. There's 15 segments. When they want, it's just like a human being. If you really want something, you go after it. And with TYT, when they want something, they go after it. They go hard.
So basically, so let me get this right. So what you're saying is they don't want us to have a democratic process in the Democratic Party the way that they elect nominees. They don't really want reform in the Democratic Party. Not really. Because this lawsuit would be the linchpin to create that, and they're not pushing for that.
They don't want that because they're not pushing for it, number one, because ultimately, Cenk Uyghur and the Young Turks will report. They'll send Jordan, and they just got investigative journalists now. They will investigate. They will report. Mm-hmm. And they will talk about they'll say, these people are kicking you in the teeth. They're kicking us in the teeth. And then what they'll do is they'll side with the same people who kick you in the teeth. And they will never vote for Jill Stein. They will never draft Bernie for the People's Party. They will never write in a Bernie or a Tulsi or push for Tulsi. Or if Tulsi Gabbard, let's say, or Nina Turner was cheated next time, what do you think they're going to do? Because we already have a precedent. See, we already have a Democratic primary where TYT reported on every single freaking corrupt, disgusting, despicable, horrible action of the DNC and of Hillary Clinton. And they still sided with Clinton. And Jake has this huge, huge complex about being a sellout, which he is, which the TYT brand is. It's the ultimate sellout brand. It's the CNN of the internet.
MSNBC, so, even worse.
It's
even worse.
Even worse. Yeah. And so when Jordan Chariton attacks me after interviewing me and saying, by popular demand, I'm coming out with an article and it's going to be a doozy. And I hope Jordan and Jake reads it. Before they take off or get YouTube to take down Jordan's 2 interviews of me, because he interviewed me twice, exactly the same time, where he says I was preying on people. And do you know what he loved? One article he loved. He loved the Clinton indictment article where I asked the FBI to indict Hillary Clinton. Jordan Chariton started off. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. He's a good journalist, but he ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. He started off the interview with the exact article from Salon that got Joan Walsh triggered to where she said my writing was idiotic, and then she eventually told Salon never to publish me because I asked the FBI to indict Hillary Clinton. Now he's talking about when he did his dumb live stream. Oh yeah, H.A. Really big on Clinton indictment, etc. No, he loved that, but. He loved that, and he gave me a platform. And you know what? He said that I was saying that Bernie still has a chance to win. The interview title is H.A. Goodman still thinks Bernie has a chance to win. So the actual interview title was what he accused me of. But Hard Bastard, a YouTuber, awesome guy, defended us. And then of course he really ripped Jordan and TYT a new one, and Cenk Uygur a new one. And what took place was promptly YouTube took it down because I'm guessing, I can't prove it, but I'm guessing that somebody at TYT complained.
Right. And look, shout out to Hard Bastard, shout out to Niko House. We want to keep saying that all throughout the night. Yes. Shout out to Zach Haller. Shout out to all Ebon Kim, Kelly. Yeah. Kelly Lane, everyone who's been so supportive, and so many people, Michael Salomon from the Michael Salomon podcast, all the people that have been so supportive, Jamaro Thomas, shout out to him as well, freaking phenomenal. I just want to pivot just a little bit. I want to say that, this was all started because of the DNC fraud lawsuit. Let's keep that focus there. Listen, guys, that's what this is about, okay? H.A. Goodman wrote that article about the DNC fraud lawsuit. I brought on Jared Beck, attorney Jared Beck.
Zach Haller did. Zach Haller did. Amazing.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Zach Haller.
You did the video. You did the video using Zach Haller's incredible article.
Zach Haller is an amazing investigative journalist.
My bad, Zach.
Yeah, and so he's amazing. His article on Counterpropa, 7 jaw-dropping revelations from the DNC lawsuit, that went to like 44,000 Facebook shares. So the interesting thing is, Zach Haller, who's just an unbelievable person and a great writer, writes an article for Counterpropa. Then I do a video critiquing TYT, John Iadarola, nothing to do with Jordan. Nothing. I did not mention his frickin' name. I did not mention Jordan's name. Then
you mentioned his name, but in a positive light. You wanted it to be. You wanted Jordan to be assured, him and Jimmy. You wanted them to be assured that this criticism was not being leveled at them specifically, not them as individuals, and that you respected them. But this was leveled at the foundation of TYT and the ownership of TYT and the 3 people on that panel who chose to put 3 people on a panel who all felt the same way about a very pivotal lawsuit and not to go into details factually to explain that lawsuit. So my outrage, my frustration with that had nothing to do with Jordan. But he, being a company errand boy, being a ball warmer, decided I want to jump in and defend these guys. And that's the problem when you join an organization When you join a corporation, you have to if you feel that you have to defend them, that's going to be a problem, because like I said in other videos, TYT is a huge, it's too big for independent media. I don't even want people to consider TYT independent media anymore, because independent media doesn't have the resources to send people to Standing Rock, to Flint, to Detroit, to these places. We can't go to these places. Independent media, truly independent media, does not have a reason to defend all of these other people that aren't even in the conversation, in a direct conversation. Like, independent media can't do that. I don't do that. H.A. Goodman doesn't do that. So my biggest gripe about this is that Jordan Sheridan should have just shut up and stayed out of it. He is already was proving what he was about as far as his journalistic integrity and the stories that matter to him. I don't know why he felt the need to defend a corporation that was wrong. And he agrees with us. He agrees that the donations are just donations. It's a false statement. It's a false equivalency. He agrees that John Iadarola misspoke and Michael Shore misspoke. So why the attacks if you agree? How are we clickbait if you agree? I don't even understand. It makes no sense. The only reason why we even having this conversation is because Jordan Sheridan had a brand that people respected. And one last thing, and I'll give the mic back. One last thing, H.A.
Yeah.
You know, I would have made the same videos. I would have said the same things if it would have been CNN or MSNBC. I have been excruciatingly hard on MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, you name it. It was not a vendetta against TYT.
No.
So there you go. All right, H.A. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I agree 100%. This is the issue that that TYT is too big to understand, because sometimes these organizations, they're too big to just get common sense. It's basic common sense. Jordan Sheridan needs to understand to mind his own effing business, because I didn't talk to him. So if you're not spoken to, don't speak. Just mind your own business. No one attacked him. I didn't attack him, so he doesn't have to go defend John Iadarola or Jake Uger or TYT's brand. If he was told to do so, he should say, yeah, I was told to do so.
He said he wasn't told to do so. He said this was him.
But that's the funny thing. If he's not told to do so, then he should explain, I have a personality quirk where if somebody is being spoken to on some other topic that has nothing to do with me, I'm going to go out of my way to defend those people. But it just so happens that the secret's out of the bag. Jordan Sheridan was, up until recently, the most credible journalist at TYT. Jordan Sheridan is trotted out to show that TYT is not a sellout brand.
Right.
Up until recently, they have great journalists now. And if you noticed, Jimmy Dore is awesome. We love Jimmy. I think he's great, but he sounds just like us, Tim. Like we have the same anger. We have the same passion. He's a hilarious comedian, but Jordan doesn't go after him. Nobody went after him. He said the same thing that we've been saying, but then with the DNC lawsuit is their Achilles heel. They got very sensitive. That's why they trotted out Jordan, because they know my overall point is this: when they want to get something done, human nature. You can tell if someone's half-assing it, or if, like, I worked to ensure that, try to get Bernie to win, and then, you know what? I believe that Clinton deserved Espionage Act indictments. So that's,
what your work shows.
My work shows. And Jordan respected my work via DM, interviewing me twice, saying by popular demand his fans were telling him to interview H.A. and that he enjoyed my article from Salon asking the FBI to indict Clinton. But the thing is, when you call people hucksters, you call them clickbait, you call them only doing it for clicks and taking advantage of anger, and then he lies about me saying, oh yeah, I mean, it's so ridiculous that I say things that aren't factual. I challenged him. Say something, Jordan, where I reported on something factual, not commentary. Because in terms of commentary, Nate Cohn of the New York Times stated that 3 days before the election, November 5th, Hillary Clinton has a solid electoral college lead. 3 days. Now, did anyone accuse him of clickbait? People, the Washington Post ran a thing. Can Hillary Clinton win Texas? The neoliberal machine was out of their freaking minds. Okay, nobody cared about the mania that they were whipping up regarding, Clinton's our only hope, and you know what, just fall in line and everything. But if it's me saying that Bernie was going to win, which actually, if people actually believed that, there was one of the reasons I wrote, Tim, one of the reasons I wrote the article headlines the way I did is I believed it. But also, I wanted people to know that, hey, you can break through that paradigm and not be stuck in that Clinton world where it's only Hillary can win, because she didn't win. And in 2015, I was saying in a video and favorability ratings in the Huffington Post and Salon, she can't. So were you. You were saying the same thing. Nobody listened to us. But when Jordan gives me a platform on TYT Politics, interviews me twice, and then those 2 interviews, in addition to so many other things, undermine all his accusations of me, that just shows that he became the biggest hypocrite on the planet. See, that's what, all of our subscribers are going up. My channel is doing better than ever. Your channel is doing better than ever. Ibon Kim has a graphic where he took pictures of all the people who defended us on YouTube. And everyone's out. There's an undercurrent, Tim. We talked about this.
Right.
And because Tim and I talk all the time on the phone, and there's an undercurrent of hate for TYT. I didn't start it. I didn't say it.
Yeah, let's go there. You know what? I'm sorry, guys, that we're not focusing more on the DNC fraud lawsuit, but we need to clear this up, and we need to have this conversation about TYT and about these issues. But wholeheartedly, I support Elizabeth Beck, Jared Beck, Niko House, all of their support staff, all the people that are working tirelessly on that lawsuit, and we will continue to cover that lawsuit. But we also need to discuss this, because it's important that we support independent media. And if this is just a precedence for what will happen to independent media when they can speak, or when they speak ill of, or when they disagree vehemently with TYT, if this is a precedence, we have to all be aware now of what can happen. Because these smear tactics that we're using against me and H.A. Goodman and Niko House, they were unfounded. They're unfounded, okay? And we should have the ability to critique TYT just as we critique Fox News. A critique is not he's a fraud. A critique is not he's a snake oil salesman, which Emma went up on Twitter today and blanketed that with other independent media. A critique of disagreement on a point of view, or on a side of a story, or where you feel in far as commentary. A critique is not to bash the person and say that you shouldn't subscribe to them and you shouldn't listen to them, which is what Jordan said. And just to clear something up, guys, don't tell me, I'm tired of people telling me to let this go.
Don't let it go.
If Jordan wanted me to let this go, you know what he would have done after he released this bashing video, for which I'm considering legal ramifications, or pursuing a legal case against Jordan, because if he really thought he was wrong, which he publicly admitted, he should have taken down that video. That video should have been removed. If within an hour of him putting that video up, he puts in the description that he didn't mean to mention me 3 or 4 times, why not just remove the video and then make a new video and go ahead and go after H.A. if that's what you feel? So don't tell me, guys. I'm tired of people saying, Tim, well, he said sorry. No, that's not how it's done. I could see if he did a clip on CNN and he has no access to the clip. If you own the clip and it's on a page that you manage, if you say, I made a mistake, you take down the video. It's very easy to remove a video. Come on, guys. If I make a mistake about someone, if I defame them and say their name 3-4 times, which I don't believe was a mistake, but if that's what we want to buy, then why not just take down the video? It's been shared hundreds of times. No one's going to read the description, kids. No one's going to go read the description of the video. Okay? He's saying in the video that I suck and that I'm a snake oil salesman and a huckster and a scam artist. Though he's been on my show, though Jimmy Dore's been on my show. Thor Jill Stein's been on my show. All these people, I don't want to name all these names. But the point is, guys, stop telling me, Tim, be nice. The video's up, and it's been 5 days. He has never taken down the video. So I think it's intentional.
Oh, it's definitely intentional.
He's already admitted he made a mistake.
Of course it's intentional.
So publicly he admits that he made a mistake and that I had injury, right? Okay, Jordan, fine. And besides, I hear that Jordan likes the ladies more than he likes the news anyway. That's what I hear. You know, like that's what I've been hearing, Jordan, that the ladies are a prime interest to you as opposed to the news. But you know what? That's just a rumor. That's just a rumor. All right.
And you know, let me tell you something. This is the thing. When you go, this is TYT, when Cenk Uygur said, well, I voted for Clinton because she's the only one with a chance. Who's president now? Is President Trump? So if he had actually taken a stand and worked on convictions and has this amazing progressive network, it's pointless. It is pointless to investigate, report, and whine and complain about Republicans or about the Democratic Party, and then refuse to draw a line in the sand. So that's why when people say he's a sellout, it's not when people say TYT are sellouts and Cenk Uygur is a sellout, it's because they do pretty good reporting and journalism on all the corruption from the Democratic side and also the Republican side, but all the corruption from the Democratic side that prevents us from winning. Because the winner would have been Bernie Sanders. Wisconsin hasn't voted for a Republican since 1984. Michigan and Pennsylvania haven't voted for Republicans since 1988. I was a Hill contributor in the Hill. I explained that Trump would defeat Clinton, but Bernie would defeat Trump. That article also went viral. So my articles went viral. He interviewed me twice. But the big issue is that TYT is a sellout brand because they explain all the reasons why you should say, hey, I'm not voting for a corporate Democrat, and then they vote for a corporate Democrat. That's called sellout.
And
that's
you know what else it is? It is strategic. It's strategic because they want our audience. They want our audience, H.A. They want people who are aligned with us, who want truth. Okay, so like our audience are just people who want truth. It's conservative, it's libertarian, it's Green Party, it's Progressive Independent Party, it's Democrats. It's all across the spectrum. They want to co-op our audience just to sheepdog them to the Democrats. Because look, guys, I'm not a vegan, but if I spent hours upon hours putting out content about veganism, and then all I do is eat pork and beef, I'd be a sellout. Look,
exactly.
Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what's going on. So you're going to tell me all these things about Hillary because you know that's what I want to hear. And then when the time comes, you go, well, you got to vote for her anyway. And if you don't vote for her, you're a horrible person. What did Anna say? F you, you're stupid. You're like these. It's ridiculous. And the fact that they've been dominating YouTube and social media. This has to end. The way that they've been shutting down social media, Hard Bastards video getting pulled, they need to go rectify that. I don't know if they had anything to do with it, but they should do that just because they should be allowed to be criticized.
They should be. Not only that, it's amazing. I can't believe the amount of love and support that we've received, Tim. And you know, Niko needs all. Niko is amazing, and he needs that love and support too, because Jordan seems to have this vendetta against Niko House. And didn't they actually put on his phone number up on Facebook?
They did do that. They did dox him, and then they said it was we're being transparent. Putting someone else's somebody else's phone number on the internet is being transparent.
That's not true. That's not what. First of all, you don't go ahead and do that to somebody. Second, they have to prove that they're not sellouts, or that they have to prove that they're genuine. Because like you said, if you're a vegan and you're caught eating a Big Mac, it's a big problem. Okay. Right. If you say that you don't drink and you're pounding tequila shots, it's a problem. And so when you're TYT and you're this champion of bastion of progressive ideals, and ooh, we're scoop reporting and we're on the scene and da-da-da.
Right.
Oh, Clinton? Gotcha. We have to vote for Clinton.
Why not just be
really?
who you are, which is the centrist, the gooey middle of the neoliberal middle of the Democratic Party? Just admit it. Stop saying that you're progressive and that you speak truth. Maybe you did years ago, but admit that you have transformed now, that you have morphed into a corporatist, centrist agenda, and you don't want to really make waves. You just want to appear to be progressive. That's the reality. Just own it. Own it, walk away with it, and just play that role. And let independent media, the people who don't have to worry about donors or $4 million donors or whatever the hell that is, let us fight the fights.
Exactly. And also, here's my question. Forget about the fact that you interviewed Jimmy, Michael Tracy, and Jordan. Forget about the fact that I was interviewed twice by Jordan Chariton. Forget about the fact that Niko House has done amazing work. You mean to when Cenk Uygur steps in and says he doesn't know who we are, so he's that far removed?
Yeah.
He's that far removed from, I'm not saying that we're household names, we're not, but people know who we are. So he's that far removed from the low peasants of the progressive movement that he just can't be bothered, doesn't even know. And also, if he doesn't know who we are, Cenk, why on earth did Jordan take it upon himself for 30 minutes to disparage you, Niko House, and me? That was a 30-minute, and it wasn't even about the DNC lawsuit. My diss to them, it wasn't even my critique. The diss is every single day. I'm going to do one after our show. Every single day I'm going to diss TYT. That's going to be part. If people thought I was into Clinton indictments and Bernie winning, they should see what I'm going to do every single day with TYT. But if you spend 30 minutes defending the TYT brand and you bring up Cenk Uygur about 50 times.
He did bring up Cenk Uygur like it's his. I didn't know his father. That must be his father. So I don't know.
Yeah. This is about John Iadarola saying what he said, and Michael Schur, and that segment exposed them for who they are. That segment, watch the segment. I urge everyone to watch the segment. And people are saying to me, it's just a panel discussion. Well, you know what? F the panel discussion. Take a stand. Take a stand as if it was Loser Donald, as if it was Clinton, our only hope. Take a stand. When they want to take a stand, they do. So they should have had 30 videos with Cenk.
Right. That's the point. Say that again, H.A. Goodman, please.
They should have had 30 loser DNC videos. They should have had 30, 40, main channel, Cenk Uygur yelling at the screen, DNC, give them their money back. Give them their money back, DNC. Right. That type of thing. Right. Cenk should have pretended that he was fighting Alex Jones, because that's when he gets really heated. And he was, and so he gets heated then. When if it's Alex Jones, oh my God, Cenk Uygur will go to. Right. It'll be like the Octagon.
Why isn't he as enraged about a personal attack from Alex Jones? Doesn't he show the same level of frustration or anger towards the DNC for robbing people, basically, for kidnapping our democratic process, the election process? Why not show the same level? And once again, if you have the resources and you're a multi-million-dollar corporation, why can't you put the money into putting a series together about the DNC? I mean, this is when we need you to use the money that the people gave you to fight the good fight.
Exactly.
That's what it's for. It's not for you to hire a bunch of people and then cover other stuff. This is the lawsuit of the century. I'm telling you, this is important. This is about democracy, because if we can't get the DNC to play fair, how can we ever run a candidate within the DNC and expect them to win if they get to go in back rooms with cigars?
And also, the question is, when's Hillary going to win? That's my question is, when people ask, when's Clinton going to get indicted, when's Bernie going to win, when is Hillary Clinton going to win the presidency? Because we were told from Cenk Uygur that she was going to win. There's actually a segment about polls. The polls aren't skewed. Loser Donald's losing badly. So why don't all the people who are defending TYT, well, there's not many of them, but they're Clinton voters, and they're I'm with her, onward together people. and they're defending TYT because TYT is a DNC brand. When was Clinton going to win? So we know that she was too stupid to be indicted because she did put special access program intelligence on an unencrypted server for 3 months. The Defense Secretary Robert Gates stated that Russia, China, and Iran hacked that server. Why on earth would the Russians go for the DNC and not Clinton's unencrypted server? So we know all of these things. And then Comey said she was too stupid to be indicted. She did it unintentionally. Okay. So Jordan did it unintentionally, too. And, of course, Cenk Uygur is out there. He doesn't know what's going on. He's hiking. But the big issue, like you said, if they cared about the DNC, they would do loser DNC videos. But they don't. Why does it? And I urge, if you're a TYT fan, you're watching this, write an email to your idol Cenk and to Jordan, the Pulitzer Prize winner. Say, you know what? Get TYT to do some loser DNC videos. Get Michael Schur and John Iadarola and everyone there who is just like, gosh, gee whiz, let's just discuss I don't really know if it's possible legally. No. This is a big deal. Like you said, Tim, you brought up some amazing points. I forgot which segment it was, but you were talking about people lost loved ones. Like people were out campaigning for Bernie and lost loved ones. Right. People gave money that they needed for a phone bill. People gave money because they thought it was a fair primary and they were freaking cheated. So that's why when Debbie Wasserman Schultz says it was neutral, she did so, not deception, that's called fraud. When you deceive to acquire money, it's fraud. Right. So if it was a fair primary, and obviously Bernie would have won, that's a different story.
Look.
But when
I want, before I forget, I want to say this because I have no notes. Unlike Jordan, when he did his video, I saw he had notes. Make note of that. Jared Beck, during the interview today, Jared Beck and Elizabeth Beck, our dear colleagues, not colleagues because I'm not a lawyer, but our friends and people that we look up to who have been sacrificing so much in order to bring this controversial lawsuit. Jared Beck said something I think is very telling, and I want people to think about this. He said the comments that were made on that TYT panel gave him a glimpse into what he's going to deal with and what him and Elizabeth will deal with if they ever enter into the mainstream media with this case.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? Let me repeat that. Jared Beck said the comments that were leveled by the TYT panel are a glimpse into what he will deal with, him and Elizabeth, if they make it onto mainstream media. This is exactly my argument and H.A.'s argument, and I'm assuming Niko House, I think I can put him in there as well, and Zach Haller, is that TYT should not resemble mainstream media.
No.
Jared Beck should not have said this. He should have not felt the need to say that. That should not. They should be the polar opposites. We fund. The people are funding TYT, right? So the problem with mainstream media is typically it's funded by big corporations who have vested interests so that stories are covered a certain way. How is it TYT is on the same page with mainstream media? You should not be a foreshadowing of what's to come from mainstream media. You should be the opposite. Of course. You should be the opposite.
And that's the definition of, and the reason I use the word is because I know Cenk Uygur hates it. And I know Jordan was triggered because he was definitely afraid that, that Cenk would be called a sellout or TYT would be called a sellout. That's one of the main reasons I keep using the word. But my definition, because the original segment that they didn't like, I never used the word sellout. So, I'm going to use it. Okay, exactly. You had more courage than I did, but I'm going to use that word sellout every day just to piss them off. But the point, because it correlates directly to my definition. A definition of a sellout is somebody who reports and investigates on, being kicked in the face. And then siding with the person who kicked you in the face. So if you go, that's total mainstream media. If you report and investigate, and then you side with the Democratic establishment, because guess what, TYT? Nick Brana has draft Bernie for the People's Party. I had the pleasure, because I know Jordan stated that I was this huckster. I had the pleasure, Tim, of speaking on the conference call, nationwide conference call. Nick Brana invited me. And I spoke right after the great Dr. Cornel West. It was a big honor for me.
Another huckster, another snake oil salesman, the great Dr. Cornel West. That's what he.
Exactly. It was a great honor for me, and it was a nationwide conference call for Draft Bernie for the People's Party. But guess what TYT is going to do to draft Bernie for the People's Party? They are going to do every single thing possible to either cover it, kind of, but at the end of the day, side with the establishment pick. Here, I'll tell you, and I'll even go here. I want everyone to know very clearly what I define as a sellout, whatever. This is very, very clearly, just very clearly, Cenk Uygur, TYT, and I'm not certain, but I can imagine Justice Democrats will vote for whomever the Democratic nominee is. It doesn't matter if Bernie goes to the People's Party. It doesn't matter if Jill Stein is in the Green Party. There's a great Green Party candidate. Nothing matters. I'm telling you, you can predict the future. You can mark it down. They will vote for the establishment pick like CNN and MSNBC and the New York Times and the Washington Post. So if you want a truly different viewpoint, you go to Tim Black, you go to H.A. Goodman, you go to Niko House, you go to Hard Bastard, you go to Zach Haller, you go to other people. But if you want a mainstream view where they're going to lockstep fall in line, and with TYTs, it's a little bit nefarious because they know better. Yeah. But they don't care because at the end of the day, their brand is DNC, which is why when you and I called them out and I did that segment, Jordan was triggered because whether Cenk told him to do so or not,
right,
he had to defend the brand. He had to defend the brand.
Just like I defended my brand, H.A. defended his brand. Jordan was defending his brand, but it's not his brand. That is a company that you are employed for. And people, please stop telling me about all the great things Jordan's done as an employee of a corporation. If you had a job that sent you places, you would go do what the job told you to do. It's different. There are many people who covered Standing Rock who did it on their own nickel, who didn't get any funding. There are people in Flint who did it on their own nickel, who didn't get any funding. And I'm not saying that my work is equivalent to that. But you know what? When I bring people on my platform, I'm doing that on my own nickel.
Your own dime.
And someone has to create a platform for people to go on. So I've been seeing comments like, well, Jordan does all this great stuff as if he did it on his own. As if he did it on his own. He's being paid to do it. There are people doing it for free. Right? And what does that have to do with this issue? One, he does, he covered stories. That doesn't mean that doesn't inoculate him for criticism of bashing people. That doesn't inoculate him from criticism from bullying people who are independent media. I didn't see Misty Plowright, the first transgender woman to win an election on his channel or on TYT Network. Yep. She was on mine, and I helped her campaign and raise money for her campaign. I didn't see Bowden win.
And can I tell you?
Openly gay. I think he openly gay. Mayor of California, or a mayor of a city in California on TYT. He was on my channel. I supported him. So if we want to start talking about things people did, hold on. Let's talk about the things they shouldn't have done as well. And what he shouldn't have done was attack us for fighting for you. We fight for you. I fight for you. He gets paid to fight for you.
Mm-hmm. And Tim, you know what Cenk Uygur and TYT are going to do for the People's Party, draft Bernie for the People's Party? How about nothing? How about undermine it? You know what TYT and Cenk Uygur and that whole brand is going to do for the Green Party? You know what they're going to do for anyone who has hope to either get Bernie? If Tulsi, I love Tulsi Gabbard, I love Nina Turner, and I love Bernie Sanders. And let's say Tulsi Gabbard runs in 2020. Let's say she's cheated. We know from precedent that TYT will report the cheating and then side with the cheater. And that's dangerous. That's a sellout, the definition. So when you define, everyone has their own definition of sellout. Mine is You cheat, you bully, you investigate and you report on cheating, bullying, and harassment, and then you side with the bully because you're afraid of Republicans.
I also want to take some time before we run out of time and just say, you know, anybody out there who watching is not, progressive or whatever label. You don't got a label. Just to say you're not into, you're not into this type of politics on the left or whatever, for whatever reason. Look, we're in the truth. We're in the truth business. I'm not in the party business. That's not what I do. That's not what H.A. does. If you want truth, you know where to go. We go where the truth goes. We speak truthfully about issues, and that's what we will continue to do. And that's the reason why someone like Hard Bastard or I don't know, Paul Joseph Watson or whomever can understand, or Steven Crowder, who I may philosophically disagree on certain issues, but I fight for their right to speak, and I respect the truth where it is. We can disagree on things, but I also respect what truth is. So I want people to know that we need to broaden the coalition, because this incident shows you, if nothing else, that just because someone claims a tag or a label doesn't mean that they are actually walking the walk of what you would consider this group doing. Okay?
Exactly.
And so just keep that in mind. I don't want to close off the conversation where it becomes polarized. I want us to have an open coalition where we can support each other on causes that matter and that we all relate to. What do you think about that? That makes sense to you, H.A.?
That makes perfect sense. And you know what? It's like, I never, the funny thing also is that we never disparaged TYT for not being progressive. I never did. And honestly, I don't fit the progressive mold nowadays in many ways, because I want to stop endless wars. So all the people who are progressive, who love TYT and read the Daily Beast, they love wars. They can't get enough of them. They want regime change in Syria because it worked very well in Iraq and Afghanistan. It was a great model in Vietnam.
Beautiful.
So they wanted.
It was great in Libya. Ooh, beautiful.
Yeah, Libya. Oh, that was Madam Secretary.
They got slaves now, right, in Libya? Oh yeah. Yeah,
it's unbelievable. So my thing is that what drives me is I don't want, and people say, well, you could have had Clinton without the wall and you would have had the same amount of militarism. That's the point. See, my whole thing is you wouldn't vote for a pro-life Democrat. Almost the 95% of Democrats, I'm sure, would never vote for a pro-life Democrat. If there was a Democratic nominee for president who said, by the way, I want to, overturn Roe v. Wade, nobody, even if let's say the DNC cheated for a pro-life Democrat, nobody would vote for that pro-life. You would have Joyanne Reid and Walsh and everybody saying, don't vote for this person. They want to overturn Roe v. Wade. But if it's a neocon, corporatist, takes money, calls black youth super predators, then everything's okay. Yeah. Because Trump is bad.
And you're,
even if
go ahead. Go on. That's beautiful, man. Yeah, absolutely. It shows the hypocrisy. And then Bill Maher can go on his show, Real Time with Bill Maher last week, and and once again blame people who were turned off by the candidate Hillary Clinton for Donald Trump's presidency, instead of blaming the DNC for forcing us to accept Hillary Clinton as the nominee. It's like it continues and it keeps continuing. They will not accept responsibility. That was Bill Maher last week.
And who was the guest?
I don't know. This was on. I watched what's it? The news or the new rules segment.
And that's the thing. Bill Maher and all of them, if they had used, let's just say, for example, Bill Maher, Michael Moore, Cenk Uygur, all of these people, let's say they had Tim Black and H.A. Goodman and Niko House's mentality. You'd never get a DNC to cheat anyone, because the second the DNC would cheat, there would be a mutiny. Nobody would fall in line. You need not just resistance from Trump. You need a backbone of Democratic voters to look at the DNC and say, not going to do that. I wouldn't vote for a pro-life Democrat. I'm not going to vote for a Democrat who cheats or as a corporatist or as a neocon. That's it.
That's so perfect, man. What people don't get, they want, like, for instance, they want H.A. and I to coalesce with Jordan and coalesce with TYT because we're stronger together. No, we're not stronger together if we don't share the same ideals. You
No.
understand? They need to join us, not the other way around. You understand what I'm saying? We don't join what we have a gag reflex from joining. You can't join. You can't join in with complicity with corporations over the people. You can't. Hell, Jake was soft on No Dapple. He was soft on the Dakota Access Pipeline to begin with. Like, we really want to start naming things. He was also sort of soft on TPP too. Like, these are corporatist reasons. There's no other reason than, in my opinion, just my opinion, for you to be soft on these issues unless there's a vested interest in it. Okay, so I mean, look. Hey,
Cenk Uygur has to pretend the DNC is Alex Jones. If he pretends the DNC is Alex Jones and pretend that the DNC stormed his set and tapped him on the shoulder. I actually did a video on that defending the Young Turks, if you could believe it, like last year.
wow.
But and the funny thing, Tim, the funny thing is, I always had my thoughts about the Young Turks and Cenk Uygur and the brand, but I kept it quiet. Then Jordan, 30 minutes of hate and lies about me, and he interviews me twice, DMs, says he likes me. I actually was. Last time I DM'd him was like in March. He asked me to share. I asked him to share an article, and he asked me to share an article, and we did. So, and it's like, and I wrote an article about. I wrote several articles. He retweeted. So it's like I had this, respect for him. So I actually made it upon myself. I told myself, don't ever diss TYT. And the one time I did, which was the last video about the DNC, it was just, I said enough is enough, because, he's not treating this like it's Alex Jones or like it's Loser Donald. And the brand is very dangerous to merging CNN with independent media.
Right.
So
we cannot allow, ladies and gentlemen, folks, everybody watching, everybody, supporters of H.A., supporters of me, supporters of Zach, supporters of Niko House, supporters of the DNC fraud lawsuit, whatever you support, we cannot allow independent media's largest voice to be that of conformity or complicity with corporate objectives over the people. That's the thing, okay? It's fine if you're going to be that way. That's a business decision. It's strategic. I get it. But you do not get to be the voice of the people to people who don't realize what you really stand for. And I have to fight back against that. H.A. has to fight back against that. It's not personal. If you were not the name TYT, if you were Joe's, media, we'd still be fighting you. Because with what you stand for is not what you truly, it's not, you're talking the talk, but you're not walking the walk. So we cannot allow them to co-opt this. They cannot. Yeah. So I disagree with Debbie Lusignan on certain things, but I know she's passionate, and I know none of her decisions are based on someone telling her to say something, or her boss said, her boss or the brand or any of that. So that's why I will ride for her, and I will support her.
I love Debbie.
We love you,
Debbie. I love Debbie and Claudia, and I think a lot of voices that. A lot of voices that I know that the TYT brand is afraid of, and they're afraid of because they're like, it's a giant Pac-Man. They want to just gobble up everybody, and they're really Jordan's tirade. He wanted to destroy us. He really did want to destroy our brands. And that's why when people say, "Oh, get over it," no, nobody tried to destroy your workplace or your job.
Right.
So, and the thing is, if he got a, what I mean?
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. And please, people, those people out there, you know who you are, guys. There's people out there going, "Well, Tim, you made out, things went well." No, yeah, I know, that's great, but it's not like that was the purpose of what he did. Like, it was to knock us down. It was to hurt us. And maybe ruin us. So just because he was unsuccessful, look, if you do a drive-by on me and you miss, don't expect me to be your buddy because you missed. You didn't want to miss. You just missed. So don't act like I'm supposed to kumbaya with that shit because he has a bad aim or he misfired or the gun
Exactly.
jammed. Nah, that's how you sound to me definitely when he used the TYT Politics page that he doesn't even own to go after me and H.A. Goodman and Niko House. Let's not act like it was done out of anything other than to destroy us. That's why in the beginning of the video he said, and I'm naming names. Because that also makes me believe that he has made similar rants about us or others without naming names.
Yeah, and I guess I guess I gotta go in a second, and I'll wrap it up, and I'll just say this, okay? There doesn't need to be life is just fine without being unified with TYT. If Jordan Chariton apologizes, a heartfelt apology to where he explains exactly why he lied about Tim and Niko House and myself, then, I don't mind a truce on my end or whatever. But every day, I'm going to do a TYT diss video, and I'm going to write about how TYT actually elected Trump. Okay, that's coming out, and actually was used as, in a way, really controlled opposition, because you can't suddenly always side with the establishment and call yourself independent. Sorry, don't do that. Be independent or establishment. Pick. You can't be both.
Right.
You can't be both. So my thing is, we hit on their Achilles heel.
Yep.
And honestly, we didn't really do that much. We didn't deserve what Jordan did, but he tried to destroy us. He lost, and now we're defending ourselves. And notice how he's completely silent. Nobody at TYT, this is insane. They don't even have the courtesy, not even the courtesy to address it. I'm talking about, look, fire back, attack more, or say sorry. Either way, have the guts to address it. Have the guts to because you had how many YouTubers defending us? You had how many? The Huffington Post, one guy wrote an article, Heavy.com wrote an article, so people are talking about it. It's not like people aren't talking about it. And it's complete radio silence from Jordan. Of course, Janky's out in the woods. He doesn't know who we are because we're little, we're so
well,
insignificant.
Today when it was brought up by Jared Beck or Elizabeth Beck, Elizabeth jumped out there and brought this up. And
I want to thank Elizabeth Beck and Jared Beck.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Jordan, he pivoted away from it, and he pivoted away, and he made sure not to address it. Okay, because he didn't want to. He didn't want to give it any attention at all. But he did come back to it just to defend his company, his employer, TYT. Okay, so let's all make that clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a TYT Politics, and TYT Politics after Jordan's comment, because we know Ebon Kim. Ebon Kim is amazing. We love Ebon Kim. Ebon Kim has that graphic. I tweeted it out. Zach Howard tweeted it out. I think Niko and you did as well. TYT Politics page, since Jordan's comments, have lost viewers. My viewership has gone up every day. Yours has, and everyone else's associated with this who've defended us has as well. And that's the power of the support. I just want to, before I leave, I want to thank everyone on social media, Twitter, Facebook. I want to thank everybody who has given us support, because the greater power tried to destroy the smaller power. Smaller power is ending up not only defending itself, but being stronger than ever. So I just want to thank everybody. And without your support, we wouldn't be able to do all of this. So Tim, I just want to thank you, man. And, what can I say? I'm sorry that Jordan allegedly confused you for Niko House, but but we know he meant you, and we know that, I'm just either waiting for, I'm gonna call out somebody at TYT, anyone, if they have the courage to either attack back or apologize.
He won't.
But you damn sure better address what you did, either Jordan or somebody, because I'm never stopping. So just to let you know, I'm not as well adjusted as Tim or other people. I'm never stopping. So this is like every day forever a TYT diss video every single day. So there you go. But
H.A. Goodman, tell people
won,
where
Tim.
to go, man. They should know by now, but just to make sure, just in case we might have some new viewers, man, who would like to follow you on your website.
Let's go to H.A. Goodman YouTube. Just type in H.A. Goodman. You just type in No Sellouts with Tim Black and H.A. Goodman. We'll find both of us. Counterpropa.com. Zach Haller has an amazing article out. And yeah. And, I just want to say thank you, Tim, for your friendship. And thank you for everything, man.
No doubt, man. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for everything you've been doing. And we will continue together, brother. No sellouts for life.
No sellouts for life. And it's amazing. Just real quick, it's amazing. Not only we stood our own, but they're on the ropes. That's a testament to you and to Niko and to everything we've done. Thank you. Tim, thanks, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Everybody,
thanks, everybody.
That's right. Give it up for H.A. Goodman, guys. My man. All right, guys. I just want to close the show by saying thank you so much, guys, who support this show. Thank you to all the people who made videos in support of H.A. Goodman, Niko House, and myself. Thank you to Elizabeth and to Jared Beck for their work on this lawsuit, very controversial lawsuit, which ramifications may extend far beyond just this lawsuit, but to their personal lives and their futures. Because when you stand up against power, power doesn't like it. So we need to keep that in mind. Once again, to bring it back, this was all started because I fought for something I believe in, which is this lawsuit. Whether you agree or disagree with me, it was based, my stance was based in truth and justice. Because what I believe is that there's been a miscarriage of justice at the hands of the DNC. I have felt that way since the primaries. And now that when I have an opportunity that it may be rectified, or at least there may be repercussions because of it, well, you're darn right, I'm going to fight for it. And if that's going to make me the subject of smear campaigns and then recensions and then snide remarks and people trolling me, that's fine. Because you know what? I'm standing on truth. TYT should not be able to be known as the progressive media force on the internet when it comes to truly progressive issues. It sides with the establishment. That cannot stand. And Jordan's reporting aside, Jordan and Jimmy Dore they should not be camouflage. They should not be the window dressing to hide the gooey middle, the neoliberal gooey middle for which TYT is mostly being known for now. Just saying we got Jordan out there standing rock ain't enough. Just saying Jimmy's on the right side of issues, he's a badass, and we got aggressive progressives, that ain't enough when the main channel is not doing its job. And we, the people, must hold them accountable. It'd be different if they were small. They are reaching people that we will never be able to reach. Do you understand that? And those people are being misled. Those people are believing that they are the progressives, when in actuality, if there's any progressive left or truth-seeking and holding them accountable and fighting corruption truly, when it comes down to it, it's being done by small independent media. So please help support small independent media. What could small independent media, truly small independent media, do if they could raise $2 million or $500,000? What could we do then? I know what we won't do. We won't parrot the talking points of the establishment in order to increase our viewership, maintain our viewership, or line our pockets. I'm Tim Black for TBTV. Subscribe to this channel. Follow me on social media. I'm everywhere you are. And once we meet, I won't pretend like I don't know who you are. And to anyone who wants to know, I was in D.C., I was in Philly, in many marches. We do what we can with what we have. The question is, are we doing it all for the right reasons? I'll see you on the next one.
Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black.
Oh, and don't let nobody take your cornbread. Peace.